How do you turn guilt into guidance? That is the question and the topic of today's video. Now, my name is Catherine McNulty, and I founded GriefInspired to bring light to the darkness of grief. And here I give you the tools and the education that you need to heal from grief. And when you're ready, encourage you to find meaning and purpose for the life that you have now, for the life that you've lived, and for the life that is still ahead of you. So I call the business GriefInspired because I want to inspire you. I want to inspire you to have hope. I want to inspire you to become more. I want to inspire you to heal. I want to inspire you to grow. I want to inspire you to become more of who you are supposed to be, because sometimes life gets in the way and we become not who we were meant to be. We become what we think we should be. And so one of the wonderful gifts that comes from grieving is that those layers get pulled back. If you really dive into your grief and you look at it, the layers get pulled back and you can learn more about who you were supposed to be to begin with. But let's talk about guilt. Let's talk about how to turn that guilt into guidance. And like I said, Marta commented on one of my videos. So Marta, this is for you. She lost one of the most important people in her life. And one of the things that she said was, I can't comprehend how stupid I was and what I took so much for granted. And she was upset with herself because she didn't go to see the person that she loved so much before they died. And she said the reason was she really didn't have a reason, because she just didn't feel like it. And the thing of it is that she thought that she had more time. And don't we all do that? Don't we always think that we have more time? We don't live our lives thinking that people are going to die. We don't live our lives thinking, oh, if I don't go this time, I may never see them again. That's not the way we live. We always think that there is more time. And she said she thought she'd have another chance, another time to go. And it didn't cross her mind to go and check on her more frequently. She also thought that other people were taking care of her as well and attending to her needs. And this woman was much, much older, and really at a point where she really could die at any time, because she was well into her 90s. She was almost 100 years old. But again, we still don't think that our loved ones are going to die. And you know, there's so many things that we don't know, and we don't pay attention to. And what she said was that she was 100% careless, and she calls herself selfish. And she says it hurts and angers her that she messed up so badly. And she feels a lot of guilt. And so Marta, my response for you is, yes, maybe you should have known more. You should have gone, all of those things. And the guilt that you experience, I don't want to minimize. And you shouldn't push it aside, because it is real. And it is important. And so the goal here is not about eliminating the guilt. It's kind of forgiving yourself and letting the guilt dissipate. And the point about turning guilt into guidance, it's about learning from your guilt. It's about learning from what happened and why you feel guilty. What were the surrounding circumstances? And then how can you use that in the future for the next thing that comes along? And so, you know, you mentioned in your comment that you don't necessarily, some of the quotes, right, that there are on the internet that you find when you search on guilt. She said, let's see, what were they? She said, you see some of the guilt that says, well, you shouldn't feel guilty because you did the best you could. Or you see everywhere, like, don't take life for granted. But I think it's all about perspective. It's about what we pay attention to. And that may not have been something that was in your focus. So beating yourself up for something that you didn't know or weren't thinking about or wasn't really part of the perspective that you had, I understand why you're doing that. But again, it's not productive. So what do you need to know as part of this? Well, you can't go backwards. You can't go back and you can't change what happened as much as you want to, right? So that guilt is going to be there. You're going to feel guilty. I want to encourage you to feel the guilt fully. Don't minimize it. And I think that you're doing a great job of that based on what I read in your comments. You're full in it. You feel the guilt fully. You can't change what happened. You can forgive yourself for maybe being stupid. Saying, yep, I was really stupid. I should have done better. I should have known better. There's things I should have done. I feel like an idiot that I haven't done them or didn't do them. Okay, but then you can forgive yourself. But what's more important when we talk about turning guilt into guidance is you can actually use what you've learned in the future, right? So you're in this guilt cycle. Right? So my advice to you is feel the guilt fully, understand exactly what it is you feel guilty about. And it sounds like you do, right? But for the other people who are watching, know what you feel guilty about. Is it because you didn't show up? Is it because you did something you shouldn't have done? Is it because you didn't go to see them more often? Is it because you said something you shouldn't have said, right? So know what it is that you feel guilty about and honor that and say, this is what I feel guilty about. But then learn from it and say, here's why I feel guilty. And I'm going to not do that in the future. And I'm going to use what I've learned. I'm going to use my guilt to allow me to be informed in the future when something else comes up, right? That's how you turn your guilt into guidance, right? You can do better next time when something comes up. You can share your story with other people, right? Maybe people who are younger than you, maybe people who haven't been through the loss that now you've been through, maybe people who are, less knowledgeable, because guilt brings with it a wisdom and a knowledge and a knowing that we just don't have until we go through the experience, right? And so, this is the meaning. This is the meaning of our lives. This is the meaning and purpose, right? Life should be about learning from our mistakes. It should be about growing. It should be about getting better. It should be about looking at things from a new perspective. It should be about trying to become better people, making progress. Progress is what we need to feel that we're making. And when we get into a position where we're not making progress, that's when we stay stuck. And we don't want to stay stuck. So use your guilt and let it turn into guidance. And ask yourself the question, how can this guilt that I feel today, right now, how can it guide me into the future? What can I learn from it? What am I going to know not to do next time? What should I do next time? Because unfortunately, people are dying all of the time. We get lots of chances in our lives to try better, to do better, to be better. And so go and take your guilt, feel it, release it, let it go when you're ready, forgive yourself, and then learn from it and use it to guide you into the future. I want to thank you so much. Again, being grief-inspired is about inspiring you to heal, inspiring you to have hope for your future, because there's more to come. It's about healing. Heal yourself. heal yourself so that you can give to others. It's about growing. It's about becoming more of who you were meant to be. And Marta, I have no idea how old you are or where you are in your life journey, but I feel like that journey never ends. There's always more for us to grow and learn and become and share with other people and be connected. So I want to thank you for sharing with the community here, with sharing what's going on in your heart, sharing what's weighing heavily on you, and that you feel anger, right? And that you feel like you were careless and selfish. All of these things are emotions. There was another one that you used that I can't remember, right? And you just feel like you messed up. We all mess up. We all mess up. And sometimes when we mess up, we hurt other people. But that's what life is. And our job and our goal should just to be to try to do better next time and to learn and grow from it. So I hope that helps you turn guilt into guidance. I'll keep doing more guilt videos as I learn more about guilt, as I talk to more people. But your guilt is very real and very, what's the word that I want to use? I don't want to say normal because it's not normal, but it's expected. It's expected. And you're going to be okay, because the fact that you feel the guilt that you feel with the intensity of the emotion that you have, even, that's coming through just the comment, right? We haven't even talked. If you want to talk, we can talk. But just in the comment, right? It came through. And what that tells me is that you have a big heart and that you care. And the fact that you're here and you're looking to resolve your guilt and you're looking to grow from your guilt and you want to understand why you feel the way you do, these are all really, really good things. So to me, that means you are being grief inspired. And so I want to thank you for showing the rest of the community here what being grief inspired is and what it means. Bye for now.